has gone through further building booms. The original landmark tower has since been joined by others nearly as tall. Although it's hard to tell as you're going along, the river is making a huge horseshoe-shaped loop at this point. At the moment, we're heading south, but if you keep your eye on the Canary Wharf Tower, you'll see that we sail almost right round it as we get closer to Greenwich. So far on our journey, we haven't talked much about the river itself, which has played such an important part in the history of London. The Thames rises in the hills of Newcastle, about 150 kilometres away. It runs through University Town of Oxford, some towns in Henley, Windsor and Richmond before reaching London. In all, the Thames is 350 kilometres long. From where we are now, it's nearly another 60 kilometres to the open sea. The origin of the river's name was obscure. The Roman Emperor Caesar referred to the earliest English place names to be written down. This might come from an early word meaning dark, or it might simply mean flowing one. What is certain, though, is that London, sitting on the banks of this watery highway and guarding the main river crossing for land routes to the north, was, right from the start, an ideal location. Without the Thames, there would have been no London. The Romans, who invaded Britain in AD 43, were quick to spot the usefulness of both the Thames and the places where it could be crossed. Within a few years, they'd established a port they called Viking invaders of the 9th century sailed up the Thames not to build ports, but to destroy them. In 842, written accounts of the time described great slaughter in London. In 851, the city was left in ruins. When the Normans invaded in 1066, they built castles along the Thames, including the Tower of London, which you've already seen today. A riverside setting also became the favourite choice for royal palaces, not just for the views, but also because the river was usually a faster and safer form of transport than land-based alternatives. At this point along the river, the Thames is tidal. This means that twice a day the tide rises and a surge of water comes in from the sea and up the river for 100 kilometres. The difference between the water levels at low and high tide can be over 7 metres. These tides have been both friends and enemies to the people who live near and work on the river. The Romans discovered they could use the rising tide to sweep their boats all the way from the sea to London, an 80-kilometre journey, without having to lift an oar or a sail. But even today, a very high tide, combined with storm surges out in the North Sea, could cause disaster. In 1982, the Thames Barrier was constructed across the river at Woolwich, downstream from here. The barrier can be closed whenever floods seem likely, and at first it was closed about 3 times a year. In recent years, however, it's been closed much more often, perhaps a sign of climate change. If you look ahead from here, you'll see our first view of Greenwich. Greenwich has a long and important history. It's been the site of many different royal palaces and buildings. King Henry VIII was born here, as was his daughter, Queen Elizabeth I. The royal palace they knew, though, is no longer here. It was demolished by King Charles II to make way for a new building, which eventually became the Royal Naval College you can see today. If you look at the hillside beyond Greenwich, you might be able to spot a light grey building with a domed roof. This is the old Royal Observatory. It was built for King Charles II's astronomer to make accurate observations of the night skies. Out of this early scientific work came the establishment of the Greenwich Meridian, an invisible line that runs from here right round the world and marks the line of 0 degrees longitude. This became crucial in both navigation and for timekeeping. Today, the world still sets its clocks in relation to GMT, Greenwich Mean Time. We're getting quite close to Greenwich Pier now, and ahead you can see more clearly some of the interesting things Greenwich offers. Ahead to the left, you can see the imposing frontage of the old Royal Naval College. This is open to the public, and you can also walk through its grounds to reach the National Maritime Museum and Greenwich Park. To the right of the college, you can see the tall masts of the Cutty Sark, the world's last surviving tea clipper. It's famous for having made the journey from Australia to England in just 72 days. And close to the Cutty Sark, you can see the small red dome, which marks the entrance to the Greenwich Foot Tunnel, which was built to enable dock workers to cross to the Isle of Dogs. If you're getting off here for a visit to Greenwich, you'll find that as well as museums and history, the town has lots of pubs and interesting shops to explore. If you have a return ticket and wish to return to London without getting off the boat, this vessel will be departing shortly.
हमारे पास रिटर्न है ना? Good man, good.
As we approach
हाँ तो उतरे यहीं पे तो आए हम लोग.
seated until we have stopped.
मामू ने 10 इतना किराया खर्च के तो इतने आए हैं तो उतरना नहीं थले.
And to return your commentary receivers and headsets for the crew. These don't work if they're taken off the boat.
हैं?
If you want to join one of
सुगरा
us,
सिटी मेरे लिए आई जा रही है. गुस्सा भी चढ़ा
check the timetable at the pier. We hope you enjoyed your city cruise and hope to see you again soon.
मेरे ख्याल से लोगों की फिल्में बनाते हुए जो है ना शर्मा रहे हैं कई लोग हमसे, है ना? लेकिन घबराना नहीं चाहिए.
नहीं डरना क्यों? किसी को इतराज है सीधा आगे बोल दे.
हाँ जब सफ़र किया तो डरना
स्टैंड बाय कर.
चलो
मेरी यार बैटरी जवाब देगी बेंच. ये काम ख़राब है. तूने चार्ज किया था सारी रात?
मैंने तो फर्स्ट टाइम चार्ज किया था फुल.
कब?
जिस दिन पहले दिन मैंने लिया ना उसी दिन मैंने बहुत चार्ज किया.
इसीलिए अभी तेरी आधी है बैटरी?
आई डोंट नो. नहीं ये जो है ना फेमस है असल में.
क्या?
ये ग्रीनविच महल वगैरह सारा कुछ.
अच्छा.
यहाँ पे तो हमें लेके आए हैं बेसिकली. ये नया सिटी है एक. तूने नॉर्थ ग्रीनिश देखा हुआ? ग्रीनिश नहीं देखा होगा.
साल या फोटो बना लेते मोबाइल में अपलोड भी नहीं करता
हैं.
तो तुझे आज जाके ना सारी कंप्रेस करके ना,
हाँ
तो तेरी ईमेल पे भेज दूँगा.
चल ठीक है मैं कर दूँगा ना. मैं उसमें कॉपी कर ली है तेरी भी. वो असल में वो तो एक ट्रेलर था रात का.
हाँ यार जाते जाते बैंक से चलो 100-150 पाउंड लग जाएगा, लेकिन ये मैंने भी घूम लेंगे जो हम पहले नहीं.
तो इसीलिए तो दुनिया सारी उम्र कमाती है. जब बूढ़ी होती है ना तो आके ये देखने आती है. तो ज़मीन तो ऐसे ही एक आरसी सी चीज़ है.
तो फ़ायदा क्या जनाब सब बचाव चाहे. तू तो मर ही जाने लगा था आज पैसे देते.
नहीं मुझे डिस्काउंट ही दी उन्होंने.
मैंने तो कोई हादा दिता काम
कबूतर मैनू 50 लगता
उसने
है
मेरे से 1.5 पाउंड चार्ज किया पता है
एक्स्ट्रा कितना
983 की थी पर जहाज के नाम ऊपर
जहाज वैसे हमें नहीं बनानी चाहिए, पहले ही इनसे डरे हुए हैं लोग। मुझे तो खुद नहीं नज़र आ रहा। नहीं नहीं, डरने की क्या बात है। किधर? ठहर ठहर ठहर।